car, come work work in the factory. You're going to make the people who make your food that gets delivered that they can't work from home. The people that come fix your house, they can't work from home, but you can. Does that seem morally right? That's messed up.
Some people get to sit when working. Some people have to go and use their arms and legs as a fucking farmer. I'm not going to tell the office person to start lifting weights because he doesn't break his back like a typical tradesman.
What I'm saying is, use what you need for the job, and you don't need to be
Yeah.
You don't need to be in an office to do office work. Oh wait, working from home is morally wrong. How is it?
Yeah.
Tell me.
That people are more productive when they're in person. Look, there are some exceptions.
Is that true? No, I'm gonna look this up.
What did he say?
Are people more productive? Well,
Yeah, there's some studies that show that people are more productive working at home.
he says they're less productive.
Okay, but if you're like a true hard-earned money-making man, wouldn't you want them to work from home so you wouldn't have to rent out office space?
Well, here's the thing.
Like, that was a big thing about Twitter. Oh, we have so much office space, such a big building with so little people coming in. Then just get a smaller office. Like, if they are more productive working at home, just it saves you on real estate taxes.
Depends on where you look. Fortune says more. Bloomberg says more.
Yeah. Well, overall,
psychology
the
says
studies
more.
show that people work better from home, which makes sense because you don't have to wake up super early and then drive in traffic.
But Forbes says it's less,
Mhm.
and so does, I think this is Chicago EDU. Here's the article we're referring to. For those of you curious, are we really more productive working from home? Okay, so here it is. Total hours worked during the time increased by approximately 30%, including an 18% rise in working beyond normal business hours. At the same time, average output, as measured by the company through setting work goals, declined slightly. Time spent coordinating activities has increased, while uninterrupted work hours shrank. Additionally, employees spent less time networking and had fewer one-on-one meetings with their supervisors. Adding the increase in hours worked and the decline in productivity were more significant for employees with children at home. Weighing output against hours worked, the researchers conclude that productivity decreased by about 20%. They estimate that even after accounting for the loss of community time, employees worked about a third of an hour per day more than they did at the office. Of course, that time was spent in productive work instead of sitting in traffic, which is beneficial, they acknowledge. I think I have a good counter to working from home, actually. Like a legitimately decent one, I think, from a pro-working perspective. Because, I'm a journalist, and a lot of the time, we're just working all the fucking time. We don't have hours, right? And that's kind of what this is turning into, right? You're spending a lot of time off, you're spending a lot more off hours working.
Yeah. Which a lot of people have to do anyways.
Well, that means that it would become more regular that your job is just sort of like a part of your normal life.
Your job literally is at your own. It's not that it followed you home. It is home.
Yeah. And I feel like...
And they know for sure that you could do it from home.
The work from home culture might make that even worse.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. Is just to say that, like, well, working from home makes it so that your work will always follow you home. And you know that the manager knows, oh, you could turn in that one thing.
And it's not like work is fulfilling for a lot of people, right? Like, if it was fulfilling, that wouldn't be a problem. It's the fact that a lot of it isn't fulfilling. So it's like, well, great. Your misery follows you home. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's good and bad to this.
But I kind of think that the whole notion of work from home is a bit like the fake Marie Antoinette quote, "Let them eat cake." It's like
Oh, so I'll add context. Pause it real quick. So basically, unless you want to go search, I can search it if you want. But basically, in rough terms, she didn't actually say let them eat cake. She said let them eat some kind of bread that was more of a snack like bread, but it wasn't like cake.
Yeah.
That's an exaggeration of the quote, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like oh, have them eat croissants or something. It's like, okay. It's like, well, I mean, it's not much better of a connotation.
All right. Well, let's see what his point is.
Yeah. Okay.
Car, come work in the factory. You're gonna make the people who make your food that gets delivered that they can't work from home. The people that come fix your house, they can't work from home, but you can. Does that seem morally right? That's messed up.
You see it as a moral issue?
Yes.
I mean, I see it more as
And
just
it's a productivity issue, but it's also a moral issue. People should get off the goddamn moral high horse with the work from home bullshit.
So he's saying that because other people have to go to a work office, you have to as well, even though you may not be doing a job that does that. I mean, some people get to sit when working. Some people have to go and use their arms and legs as a fucking farmer. I'm not going to tell the office person to start lifting weights because he doesn't break his back like a typical tradesman, because they put in the labor,
Basically, what I
the moral strength to do their work. I mean, at the
So
end
what
of
you're
the
saying
day,
is, what you're saying is, use what you need for the job, and you don't need to be
Yeah.
You don't need to be in an office to do office work.
yeah, he's saying it's morally good if you do more for the work.
No, it's not even morally good if you do more for the work. It's morally good that you're in the office to do office
Yeah.
work. You don't need to be in an office to do office work. You ever done office work?
Yeah.
You can do shit
A
from home.
call center.
Most of it.
You are literally just on a phone. You have your script ready. You know
Data
exactly
entry.
the forms you needed. If you have a problem, you just send it up to the next guy above you.
Or you,
That's what happens at every call center.
or you put their ass on hold forever.
Yeah.
Pretend that you're calling a manager.
I think it's like, how does that logic scale where, oh, if I have to go to work, you have to go to work. You have to put in the same labor that I do. An office worker does not work as hard as a plumber or a farmer. They don't get down in the dirt and put in their muscles to work like a typical tradesman. I wouldn't tell an office worker, hey, fucking work out, fix shit in your office, because the laborer puts in more physical effort than the other person. I don't think it scales.
I just think it's unnecessary. You do what you need to do for your job. If office work doesn't require you to be any particular location. If you want to be a roofer, you need to be at someone's house. You want to be a farmer, you got to be at a field. If you want to do office work, all you need is a laptop.
If you want to be technical with it, delivery drivers on Uber, DoorDash, Grubhub, they technically never go to an office.
Yeah.
They technically work from their car, which a lot of them is their home.
If you work from a you work from a laptop, you can work anywhere in the world.
Yeah, if you're just a lot of people who code.
A lot of people probably work for this guy.
Yeah.
Whatever,
a lot of people working
employees,
Twitter,
back-end software
they just work from
engineers,
home.
that type of stuff. Hell, even probably the creative people too.
Yeah.
Community managers. There's lots of positions you can easily do from home on a laptop.
And then you save as a business because you don't need as much real estate space.
And
You
also,
don't need as big of an office.
for those CAF workers, they can work a little bit less. They don't got to feed as many people. And
Yeah.
you can probably fire them because you don't need as many of them.
So it seems more like it's just a power play than a financial move.
Yeah, no, it seems like there's a few holes in this, Elon.
Yeah.
Because they're asking everyone else to not work from home while they do. The laptop class is living in La La Land. I'm a big believer that
Okay, Elon, I think you're kind of dodging the question, which is, and maybe you'll see this, and I hope you do. Why do you need to put a laptop in an office to work on that laptop? Why can't you just work on the laptop anywhere in the world, basically? Like, why do they need to be near you? Is kind of my question. Like, do you just like them around you? Do you like the company?
It might be the power complex. The manager wants to feel above the people working in the office. You can't feel like a god if none of your servants are there. You know, you can't feel like the main man if the people you're above aren't there scared of you in the office.
What am I going to look at from my office window? What am I going to look down at if there's no one there? Think about it.
Like, you can I look, if it is true and the study shows more productivity, so you work better per hour. Okay, but to just take on the moral high horse, you're not winning it there.
I would wager that a lot of people who work salary would easily take on a few more hours a day working if they can have more flexibility in their day-to-day. Because then they can just load the work up a few days out of the week and then have some days off. Like, you can basically, they can do what works for them. So yeah, it's a control thing. You want to do it on your schedule, and hell, not even to meet a deadline, but like you want them to do it in the way you picture. You ever heard that? I think it was Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle. It's like, you were doing the thing I asked you, but I'm mad because you didn't do the way I pictured it in my head. That's Elon, you know, just like it's like come on, like
And
they're
also
getting it
coming from
done,
the
they're
guy
getting it
who
done.
praises his foreign factories because they work hard or they stay there for 10 plus hours a day and sleep at the fucking stations.
Mhm.
Like, of course he's going to say, please stay in the office. Like, he wants you there for the whole day, 4 days on end.
But he sleeps on the floor. He works
Yeah.
24 hours a day.
Which I would also then say, if you really do put in 80 hours a week on your many companies, is it morally good to not, you know, be able to see your family? Like, as a person with so many children, your children might say, wow, is it morally good to just have an absent father? Like, I don't know.
Papa was
Sounds a
off
little
making,
morally bad.
Papa was off making money. What you
Yeah.
gonna do?